Augusto with Gearwire.com, and we're checking out the HBE or HomeBrew Electronics UFO, and the UFO stands for Ultimate Fuzz Octave. So it is a fuzz pedal. It's sort of a boutique-y. We had a look at it at Winter NAMM, and while we were editing the video, I heard this sound. I was like, "What is that sound?" And it turns out it was the UFO pedal, and it was something I really liked. So I actually picked up this pedal for myself. And since it is my pedal, I'm playing my guitar through it, my main gigging guitar. This is the Fender Highway 1 Stratocaster, slightly modified. I put a DiMarzio pickup in it. Otherwise, it's all stock. So if we take a look at the UFO, we've got a fuzz control, tone control, level control, and then vintage mod selector. Basically, this just takes some of the, there's sort of like it's a very warm pedal. When you're in vintage, it's like there's a high roll-off filter on it or something like that to make it sound more vintage. And then the modern one opens up that filter, or it just basically sounds like there's more high-end in it, and it also brings up the gain a bit. We got an octave switch, 8 VA, that means 8 notes up diatonically. Cool thing about this is the pedal's disengaged right now, as you can hear. Even when it's not on, the LED for the octave stays on, so it's pretty cool like that. So you know when you engage the pedal, whether or not the octave is engaged. So once again, let's listen to this sound a little bit. I'm playing through Fender Twin, the reissue Twin amp. Got a clean sound. And I'll engage the pedal. We're in vintage mode. Tone straight up, fuzz down low, level down low. It can add a lot of gain. So you could use this as like sort of a boost as well. So let's listen to this. All right, so it's a nice fuzzy tone, still very warm. While we're at this stage, let's check out the modern switch, just see what that does. All right, so unlike a lot of fuzz pedals, when you have your sustain or whatever, like on a big muff, when you have it turned down low, it really sucks a lot of tone out, I find, at least with the modern designed reissue big muffs. This one, I still get a nice full tone, hear a lot of the amp, but it really doesn't suck the tone out of the amp. So at this stage, let's mess around with this tone control. I'm just going to play an open chord and sweep it from low to high, and I'm going to do it both in vintage and modern. We'll start with the vintage, and I'm going to start low. All right, now go to modern, start low. All right, now let's try that with the octave engaged. You're going to find that with a lot of octave pedals, chords just don't work even when you have the fuzz turned down low. Let's see how this does. So the tone still speaks through, and you're getting kind of like a phasey effect. Let's try it in modern mode. All right, I'm going to turn off the octave, switch back to vintage, and turn the fuzz up a bit. Turn the octave on. Let's try it in modern mode. All right, and turn the octave off. So we're starting to lose some of the definition of our tone, but it still speaks through. And if we switch to the vintage mode, I think it speaks through a bit more. All right, let's go ahead and go all the way up with the fuzz. So we get a lot of sustain, and it's a sound that sort of changes over time. It's a dynamic sort of thing. All right, let's switch to modern all the way up. All right, so I feel like we lose a little bit of the sustain in the modern mode with the fuzz all the way back up, so I'm usually leaving it in the vintage mode. But before we go back to that, let's just listen to that with the octave. So that's pretty just out of control right there. Back to the vintage with the octave still on. So you can hear how it sustains and it changes over time. I feel like you also lose a little bit of the sustain when you have the octave on in the vintage mode. So let's just test it out with the octave on. And octave off in the vintage mode. So I feel like it stays a little bit longer with the octave off. So the octave kind of messes with that a little bit. So this pedal, I'm really enjoying playing with it in my live setup now. It's really good for just pushing the tone over the edge a bit and adding a lot of course, fuzz and sustain. So thanks for checking out the HomeBrew Electronics Ultimate Fuzz UFO.